All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. So, good morning as we get started on this short week. Another interesting gappers list as we have seen every day this week. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. As you can see, no camera for me today, guys. I have a horrendous background with plaster and a mess behind me. So I figure I'll spare you guys from that and we can focus on what we have in front of us here on this list. So, all right, guys. So, Norm, let's go over some of the stuff that's happening with the market this morning. I know that, again, we had a very interesting day yesterday and from the day before as well. Nice continuation. So let's see what kind of is going on today and what we can expect out of this. Well, the short period that we have. We only have one more day of trading because the markets are closed Friday. We're back Monday. So what kind of what's going on? What can expect from these 2 days?
Yeah, SPY's up about 0.9% right now, 267-ish. It's been trending up in futures and SPY been trending up for much of the morning from being slightly red, essentially break even, and now up almost getting close to 1%. No significant economic data coming out today. Mortgage data came out earlier that new mortgage apps or whatever had dropped by, I believe, 18%. Pretty normal. I mean, people are a little, obviously freaked out about what's going on, trapped in their houses. Not a whole lot of people out shopping for homes right now. So, with job uncertainty and everything else, like I said, FOMC meeting minutes come out at 2 p.m. That meeting was 2 weeks ago, and they will be released today. Tomorrow we get jobless claims again. Tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning. That's really the big number. And then consumer sentiment will be out at 10 a.m. So it should be interesting. And as you mentioned, shortened week, 4 days. We're off Friday for Good Friday. So we'll see. Yesterday was interesting. It was a very rare occurrence that we were up big, 3.5, 4.5%, whatever the top ended up being, and then ended up closing red. It's not common to have that big of a pop and then lose it all. So it's only kind of happens in these extreme bear market circumstances. I'm still not in the place to shave my beard yet. We had the VIX trading in the 40s. At least it's not 80ish. So a little bit less volatility and a little bit more of the same is what we're working on.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So again, interesting day yesterday. We were kind of back to the open this morning, slightly above that of the previous day close. So let's take a look at what we have this morning. Let's quickly look at this gappers list. At the moment, we have a lot of stuff in. Hold on, is this for today? Yes, this is today. So a lot of stuff in the green, although the market's not gapping up this much. A lot of stuff today in the green, and we have a little bit here on the red. We have IQ, TAL, some other ones on here that we haven't seen in a while. Baidu is on here, down 3.8. So we'll look at what's going on there. Just quickly to mention yesterday's watch list, man, we had an amazing watch list yesterday. Things were moving so well. We had some really good pops. Although a lot of stuff, as Norm mentioned, ended up selling off. CCL was fun to watch. UAL, a lot of these companies just again really good trading yesterday. A lot of great opportunities. But we're not in the position yet to go back to reviewing the top place and highlights from yesterday. We will eventually get back to that. But right now we have so much on our gappers list that we want to make sure we give enough time to go through these here. So let's remove the ones we have on our list here from yesterday, and let's make room for today's list. So we'll start with the bottom. Let's see what's gapping down this morning. Let's go over here down to TAL. As you can see, TAL at the moment is down 9.3. This one has a very funky daily chart, very choppy, guys, at the moment. Again, so I'm not really sure what's going on with our daily here. It's again just not a very clean trading stock. Oh, this is Tao Education. Is this a foreign company?
Yeah, it's a Chinese company registered here. We saw this with LK. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, guys. I'd be really cautious of these Chinese companies. I have a personal rule. I would never invest in a Chinese company. I very, very rarely, if ever, I can't remember the last time I even took a trade in a Chinese company because
Yep.
of what's going on here. And this is so common. Different cultures, The way that they run things and the oversight and the accounting and just the corporate governance is garbage. So LK got called out a while back by a short research firm, Muddy Waters and Wolfpack. I believe it was in January, that said they were cooking the books and inflating their revenue numbers. The company came out, denied it, denied it, denied it. This is, whatever. And then it came out, what, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, that sure enough, they were making up their revenue numbers to the tune of like 60 to 80%.
Holy
So
cow.
that was it. It's just that stock was getting slammed. They halted it for news yesterday morning. I'm talking about LK, and it has not reopened. It might not reopen for a month.
Yeah.
I've tried to study up on it. The info's kind of hit or miss. One of the companies involved that's not LK, but same kind of stuff, they halted that as well. It's tied up until at least May. So it's just not worth it. There's so many better things to trade. So that having been said, IQ's in the same boat. Baidu now has been accused of the same company. I guess IQ, they're looking into some accounting issues there, some issues there, cooking the books, inflating numbers. Baidu, actually, the IQ is for falsifying viewership records. Baidu is up against some stuff. Tal got halted. It's, I guess, trading now. I have not looked at it. When was the last time? Yeah, it looks like it's trading. But anyway, we had a member that was doing a pre-market LK trade yesterday, and I don't know what kind of size he had, but he's stuck in it, and it sucks. And
Yeah, yeah,
it's not worth it.
that's the worst thing, to have your capital tied up like that, right? I mean, it's I can't even imagine. So again, this one, guys, not a great daily. Looks horrible right now. It's got some good volume, 2.1 million shares traded. It is down 9.2, but again, just the pre-market. Everything about this doesn't look great. We're going to pass on this one. Let's look at IQ. We're just talking about that as well. This is one we have traded before in the past quite a bit. Recently, we have not really looked at it as much. Right now, they do have 1.5 million shares being traded. They are down 8.9 as well. But as you mentioned, Norm, this is scary to even get into with what's going on with some of these companies overseas, right? So, I mean, it's a situation you want to be very cautious with. So you got to really, decide whether you want to be trading these non-US based tickers. So with that said, guys, we'll keep away from this one at the moment. Let's look at GSX and what's happening there. This one's got some volume, but really looks like a couple of maybe block trades. But again, I'm not seeing great activity. This pre-market is literally all over the place. Nothing's clean here. I do like the daily. We're breaking out of some of these levels down here, but overall, I'm not seeing a great
This is a
pre-market
similar,
activity.
just for the headline, this is a similar company to Tal. It's a Chinese educational services, so it's getting hit with that.
Gotcha.
I'm not aware of anything specific to GSX other than a sympathy move on it. Not that there isn't, but it's getting hit with these others as well.
Yeah, yep. All right, cool. We'll keep it on here, but might be one. If it's in the same boat, man, we're not going to keep track of these. And then Baidu, as we mentioned, also, it looks like all of these, sympathy move, or everybody's concerned on what's going on with them. Are they doing the same thing too? So who knows? So here's Baidu as well. This is down 3.8, 198,000 shares traded right now. Again, pre-market is looking okay. We got a decent pre-market activity happening here, but overall, the daily has been very choppy. You can see how this trades. Also, the volume on this is very light. I have never traded Baidu, but I know a lot of members in the community have, and they have done very well. I never traded this one. I never liked the price action on it. So we'll keep an eye on it now, but might not make our final list. I think once we get to the top here, we'll do the top 4. We'll see what kind of stuff we have going on there. But before we move on to what's green this morning, let's look at INO. INO today is down 2.4. Again, another one that can be very explosive. Has not been able to break out of this 947 level that we have here. It looked like it wanted to do that on this day here, but it kind of fell back down and consolidated again. It is, slowly but surely, it is making higher lows here. So again, it looks like it just wants to slowly hold its moving averages And eventually we'll probably get an explosion out of this unless it completely collapses. But today does not look like the day. Again, the volume is very light. This stock trades very, very heavy volume. So on a day like today, you can tell that there's nothing much really going on. For 157 for this stock is almost nothing. When they're pre-market, sometimes it's 2.1 million shares traded and more. So we'll skip on INO for now. Let's head over to the top. See what we have. Green this morning. We'll do the top 5. We'll do EFC, NLI, GNMK, APT, and NVAX. So again, I don't really like those tickets, but we'll do those for now, and then we'll throw it to you guys to see what we have going on. And then what we also do, we'll look at all the airlines, we'll look at all the cruise lines, and then we'll look at MGM, right? Because these are pretty much or any banking tickers that are on here. We'll look at those if there's any. We kind of consolidate them and pick the best ones out of that group. All right, so EFC here, this is a financial stock. Again, doesn't look like it's trading very well. Pre-market is horrible right now. So I'm just let's move on from this one, guys.
It's the same thing. EFC and NLY disclosed some stuff, some financial stuff, and they're popping. They don't look tradable to me. They're mortgage investment companies. Yeah, they just happen to have huge gaps, but I don't see them trading well.
Yeah. These financial companies, for those that are joining us, they just don't have a great price action and activity. So it's very difficult to trade them, read the level 2. So for the most part, with our style of trading, we kind of stay away from them. So we'll skip EFC, we'll skip NLY, excuse me. Let's head over to NGMK. So NGMK this morning, this is Genmark Diagnostics, looks like. At the moment, they're up 19%, 150,000 shares traded. Look at this daily chart, guys. Just this right here will make me stay away from a stock like this. Just this alone right there. It is not a low flow stock. It's sitting over here at a decent number, but again, it is just not something I want to be involved with. Norm, unless you have any news that can make us even look at this any further, I'm just gonna skip on to the next one.
Are you talking about GNMK?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just said it. They're going to have a huge revenue boost from COVID tests, but like you said, I'm not really impressed by the pre-market action at all. So
yeah, pre-market action is not impressive at all. Nothing great here to see, and also just look at these pops, man. This is very wild on this daily. I prefer to stay away from something like this. It just shows that again it can gap up and sell right back down, and we've seen that happening here several times. That it has gapped up pretty decent amount. Today it looks like that same day we have a nice little gap here, 19%. Looks like we might just be selling right back down. I do have shares for short, but any stock that looks like this at this price level, I wouldn't dare short it. It's just nothing great can come out of that if you get caught on the wrong side of that type of move. So let's head down over to APT this morning, see what we have going on there. So APT is another one that's been on our list quite a bit. 765,000 shares traded. Now this is probably the one with the best pre-market activity we have seen so far this morning. We do have some really good levels here on the daily. Looks like it might be trying to break out of this area here where we have some really heavy resistance, right slightly below the price action. You have some really heavy resistance that we had there. Again, we're above that now, but you can see how that's been tested several times. The next level we have here is around 17 or so. You can see more resistance right on here. A couple of days cannot get above that. So this has some room to get towards this area here. I do like the pre-market activity right now. APT is a low flow stock, but it's 11 million shares flow, and it doesn't move as wild as some of these other low flow stocks that we have seen. So we can definitely take a look at that one. We'll keep an eye on it and come back to it later on today. NVAX, this is one that we have looked at a lot as well. I personally have not traded it yet, but we have the community has done some really good moves on this. Right now it has a good pre-market activity, guys. The daily actually seems a little bit better than it was a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago, really all over the place here. Now it's just kind of has this kind of decent uptrend going on right now. Norm, any significant news on NVAX? I know we had news in the past on this ticker. Today they're gapping up 12%. Is this individual stuff or is it with the market a little bit?
Yeah, they announced they're going to start phase 1 human trials, I believe in May for a COVID vaccine.
All right, so this is worth looking at. We have popped up to 1773 here back around beginning of March and of February. You can see right on there. So again, worth watching, guys. See if we can get another pop. We're as high as 17 15 at the moment. If we can get going here, we do have a good pre-market. We do have some volume. Again, not the best one. We have looked at better stocks, better pre-market activity, but right now, based on what we have gone through, this is probably the best pre-market activity at the moment. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it and see what we can get out of it. All right, so we went up to NVAX, but now I want to do all the airlines. Let's look at what's going on there. Let's look at American Airlines. Is the first one on this list. American Airlines has some good volume, 957, some really good pre-market activity. Going to remove some of these levels. Our highs and lows are creating new support and resistance for us within this area. So American Airlines has a good pre-market, great volume. We'll keep an eye on that one. Let's see what we have over with Delta and United. Delta at the moment also has some good volume, 700,000 shares traded, up 4.8. Very similar pre-market activity to American Airlines. So we'll pick one of those two that looks the best. But let's take a look at United Airlines, which makes up airlines today makes up a lot of our list, as you can see here in the gappers. So United Airlines, a little bit less volume. United Airlines seems to always have a little bit less volume than like Delta, American Airlines for the most part. They're down at 268,000. They're only up 4.7 this morning. A decent pre-market activity, but I'm going to remove that one from this list because the volume is a little bit lighter. American Airlines has great volume. Delta has great volume. And Delta has a really good pre-market activity too. Look at the price action, the way it's forming this beautiful uptrend here right now. So again, that's looking pretty nice on Delta. Let's head over to JetBlue. And that will complete our airlines. Yeah, JetBlue didn't get no volume today. Pretty choppy pre-market right now. Again, nothing much going on here. These two are the ones to look at. We'll keep those two, and then we'll decide which we want to keep later on. All right, now let's look at the Norm. Before I move on, anything on the airlines that we should know about that, or it's just regular market activity?
I haven't seen any real individual catalyst that's fresh today. Just continuation moves from yesterday.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's look at some of these cruise lines. Let's start with the first one that's gapping up this morning. The highest, NCLH. This one, it is up 6.4 this morning. Let's remove these levels here. All right, so up 6.4 this morning, 335,000 shares traded. Pre-market is looking all right, not great. We seem better for sure. We'll take a look at what CCL is doing next, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's throw it down here. We'll fine tune this a little bit later, and let's look at CCL. Let's see what CCL is doing this morning. CCL has definitely a great pre-market activity, always with some really good volume. 2.3 this morning. Andrew took advantage of this stock, I believe it was yesterday. Nice, beautiful pop there right at the open. Again, was very explosive. So 5.2 this morning. This one's good to watch. I like the pre-market activity right now. It looks better than yesterday too. Yesterday the pre-market was a little bit choppy. It was all over the place. Here we're trending nicely, guys. We have a beautiful trend in this pre-market, so this is good to see. Hitting this level 1192 right on the dot. We had that from yesterday, looks like, and to see if we can break out of that. Look at this 1153 level here in the pre-market as well. Right there, you get some resistance. You kind of fall back a bit, come back and retest that level one more time, another time here as well. So that 1153 will definitely keep that on there. Looks like it's playing nice in the pre-market this morning. Another one we have. Did we look at RCL? RCL is a little lighter on the volume. It's starting to get a good pre-market activity going here. This could be another one. Yeah, let's keep RCL here for now. We'll look at these three. These three looks very good right now at the moment. All right, guys, and then I think we'll look at MGM, since we've been looking at this one. It has been very active, very clean pre-market activity. We have been taking several trades on this one over the last couple of days. Today's pre-market activity is not as clean as we've seen in the past from MGM. Again, they have news of insider buying. The people that own the company or are big shots of presidents and vice presidents are buying stocks into the company heavily. So that's always a good sign for these guys, as these people feel that in the future they're going to be, worth more than they are now. So that cost a pop a couple of days ago. Today they're up 4%. We'll see where this can go from here. Again, big sell-off yesterday, as many of these stocks did. Gap in the morning were gapping up nicely and sold back off here. So we'll see if we're going to hold here or if we're going to get some movement towards the top. So we'll keep MGM this morning on this list. All right, just going to scroll through, see if I see anything interesting on this gappers list that we should look at. But for the most part, I think we cover at least half of the stuff that's gapping higher this morning. Norm, anything that we have not covered yet that you like this morning you want to keep an eye on?
Yes. Tesla, Zoom, ZM.
Oh yes,
Boeing, PA. And I had another one, but I forgot it. So I'll bring it back up in a minute.
We'll come back. Yeah, let me know. Yeah. So let's look at a Tesla this morning. Tesla's good activity right now. Good pre-market. Doesn't have great volume. And we've seen a lot more than this on Tesla. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. 267. That's amazing volume. But we're used to now seeing these extreme numbers, right? 700,000, 800,000, given the way the volatility of the market. 267 is perfect volume. Great pre-market activity right now we're seeing here. Also on the daily, it's interesting. We're kind of hovering above this previous day close line, an area where we had resistance in the past, right over here. So this is good to see. If we can break out of this, we do have some potential on here. So Tesla's looking interesting. Let's look at Zoom. Zoom is one that has been very active this morning already. A pop here around 817 or so, right above the pre-market close. The previous day close. And we got some good volume going here. So daily is interesting. We do have a very strong level down here, guys. We tested this thing already twice, the day before and yesterday. And you can see here this morning, that's very close to where the pre-market low is already, that 110, 109 area. So interesting to see if this level is going to hold. It is also where you have a moving average coming in as well. So that could be also helping that this stock stay above that level. So Zoom is exciting, guys. Some good volume already. We've seen some really great moves out of it. It's been very active with all the news coming out with their security, as well as having their security issues that they have going on. They also have a lot of people that are now using Zoom. So that's, it's kind of, they have a positive and a negative at the same time.
Well, a couple of notes on the catalyst on these. So we already did Tesla. So Tesla sent out a letter to employees yesterday. They're cutting compensation of all salaried employees from 10 to 30%, depending on your level within the company. And they anticipate that's through the end of second quarter at this point, at least. They'd also mentioned they anticipate opening their factories. I think it was May 4th to start cranking up again. Hourly workers are furloughed until then without pay. So combination of all those is the news on that. On Zoom, because of the privacy and data concerns that have come out in the last week, they have released a 90-day plan to bolster security, privacy, and everything else. I don't know if you've seen it. It's pretty funny. There's a Twitter account of a guy multiple times getting into college classes that they're conducting over Zoom now, and just saying the craziest stuff about,
I can only imagine. I have not seen it, but
in the middle of class and screaming at his mom and all. It's insane. So anyway,
that's no fun. Well, in my personal experience with Zoom, my daughter's switching this week. They actually are going to Chrome. To Google. So they're using Google Class, whatever it is. So they're no longer using Zoom. And I expect as people start looking at this long term, my daughter and might not go back to school this year, as many other kids might not go back to school this school year, right? So they're looking for more permanent solutions, and her school already has done that. So that's great to see that they're moving in that direction. All right, folks. I see some people asking me about the screenshot. So yeah, my camera behind me, I have a mess. I'm plastering this office, so that's why I have a still shot there. I should be done painting today, and I will be able to share my camera again. Didn't want to hurt your eyes while
he's currently coating the walls in gold foil.
Yes. All right, guys. So I'll get great list here, guys. Let's see what you guys have on your end. Let's start with our chat room here this morning.
And did you look at BA? The third one?
Oh,
BA?
no, we did not look at BA. We stopped at Zoom. Let's go back to BA. 1 second, guys. Don't go crazy with the tickers yet, because I don't want to miss what you guys type in there. So BA, again, continues to trade very nice. A beautiful pre-market activity today. Some really good volume. Up 3.3. Looks like a lot of stocks sold off here. The gapped up huge and sold off, right? For the most part, the whole market kind of did this. Found a base here. We're all bouncing off this previous day close a bit here. So, but again, BA, guys, has been on my list quite a bit, almost every day this week. It's just the way they've been trading. So, again, another great pre-market activity worth keeping on here this morning as well. Definitely one of my favorites ones right now with the pre-market action.
I like it on the daily. They also had news yesterday that was part of what sold it off. That the 737 Max has a couple of software flaws that they have to fix before it can come out for testing. So it's just bad news after bad news for them.
Yeah, this is BA's time, man. If I was the head of that company, I'll be releasing all the bad news now. Everything right now.
Yep.
Do it now when the market is down. So then
get it over with.
When the market comes up, you're not releasing stuff on the way back up here. It's not going to help. All right, guys, so let's see what we got here. So BA definitely on my list. Pins, ticker tape Terry's giving us pins here this morning. Let's take a look at what's happening there. Let's move it over here. Pins.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thomas D on YouTube did too.
All right, thank you, thank you. Good, good, good. So here we got a okay pre-market activity, but I do love the daily here though. A lot of these stocks are not gapping up as much as this one. This one sold off yesterday. This is gapping huge 12%. But the great thing about this gap up that is kind of getting above the last hump that we have here, right? Is above this. A lot of the stocks that have this same move are kind of doing it this way and still not getting above this last hump. So I like the daily here. We have some room to run. We're getting close to the top of these 2 days here where we had a decent gap down on this day here. So yeah, I like pins, guys. I don't like the pre-market right now. It seems a little bit choppy, a little bit lighter on the volume, but the daily looks great. It's definitely worth taking a look at on pins this morning. Norm, you probably haven't not had a chance to look at this one. Yes, this was not on our list, but do we have any news on it this morning?
Yeah, they pre-announced Q1 numbers that beat estimates. So their earnings call isn't until early to mid-May, I believe. But last night they pre-announced and they were pretty strong. They did pull guidance for the year though, but I mean, that's to be expected. I don't know that anybody can give any kind of guidance with certainty at this point. They have no idea what's going to transpire. So
Gotcha.
can't really fault them on that.
APT BRAD we looked at. We had that one on our list. Actually, we have it on our list down here, so that was on the list. No, we'll look at that closer a little bit later. EHTH this morning. See what's going on there. This one, this is just craziness right now. So it's starting to get going. I definitely do not like the daily on this. Looks like to be all over the place. This is eHealth. We'll come back to it. Very active right now. We'll come back to it. Let's wait for it to settle down a little bit here, see what it's going to do next. Definitely some news is breaking out at the moment, and you can see here the drop right now, down 15% in a matter of 10 minutes. So we'll see what's going on there. All right, let's head on down. I'm not sure if that's Good Morning or GM. I believe it's Good Morning, so we'll skip that. Let's head down over to what else we have going on here. AMD. Let's look at AMD today. All right, so AMD is great pre-market. AMD is a good one to watch if the market is trending heavily one direction. AMD, Nvidia, Apple, all these stocks are really. I'm not aware of them having any significant independent news, so they're just going to be moving with whatever the market is doing. So we'll keep an eye on that one. That one's a good one. EHTH, yep, we'll put that on the list. We'll come back to right now, down 15% in the last 10 minutes. So a lot going on there. I'm sure Norm will dig into it in a second. Levi here, guys. This one, see what's going on with Levi.
It's gapping up, but there's no volume.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It's very light in the volume, guys. Not much going on there. All right. Let's look over in our YouTube chat. See what you guys have this morning or what you like. So right over here, we have a lot of people mentioning Twitter. Let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter this morning. Why is it doing this? Here we go. Twitter. All right. Twitter right now, not a lot of volume. I'm used to seeing Twitter with 700,000, 500,000 when it's gonna get going. I like how the daily is setting up nicely. It looks like you probably want to break out of some of this area here, but overall the volume is very light right now, man. Way too light for us to keep on our list with everything we have going on. And the pre-market has not been creating a great pre-market activity in this area. Very choppy at the moment. But I see what you're looking at. The daily looks interesting for a possible breakout above this 27 area. And we do have some beautiful room to run here with some areas right on here. So some levels right on there. So we'll skip on that one for now. But again, I think that at the moment,
did have a catalyst. They had an analyst upgrade this morning. I'm surprised it's not moving a little bit more. It's tough to trade even when it is,
Yeah. Analyst upgrade. Yeah, it should have. You're right. If it has an analyst upgrade.
Well, they raised their price target from $27 to $29, and it's trading at 26 and change, I think. So
yeah,
not saying much.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's the number. So again, guys, it's okay right now if it can get going. But right now, the way it looks at the moment, it might not be enough to put on our list. Let's look at MFA this morning. This one is gapping up 16%. Looks like a penny stock, guys. I'm not sure what the float is. I'm going to pull it up now.
On which one? Yeah, that's penny stock garbage.
Yeah, so be careful with this, guys. I will not be touching this type of stock. Just look at the pre-market action activity right now. It doesn't look clean. You do have 1.1 million shares traded, but look how that is being traded. It's really, really all over the place. So that to me is a sign where you want to be very careful with. You don't want to be stuck in a stock that's trading that much volume and doing this type of price activity. It's just not a good thing. And also on a low flow stock on top of that. There's nothing good can come out of that. Let's look at Roku this morning. One of our favorites ones to watch. This one trades very well. We love the price activity on Roku. This morning, very light on the volume. It has been light almost every pre-market activity. Roku has not had great pre-market action. Look at it yesterday as well. Didn't have all that great stuff, but did sell off nicely here. Pretty much following the spiral. We had to drop the retest of almost the highs here and then drop it again. So nothing too exciting on Roku right now, guys, and the volume is very light. So I'm going to move on to another one at the moment. But again, very similar to a lot of the stocks that we have going on today, right? They're all sold off pretty nice and they're gapping up, bouncing a little bit, gapping up about 1% above the previous day close. So let's look at M. M is one that, again, I don't really like to trade much because it can just be so difficult and choppy. I remember when Macy's was trading around $17, it was holding this level here, and it had news of it, horrible numbers. And I got stopped out like 3 times on it. It's just horrible price action. So again, you got to be careful with Macy's in that sense. Look at it yesterday. It had actually a pretty nice open yesterday. Nice big pop here and then a sell off. So again, if you took advantage of that. But look at this wild 5-minute candle here. So you want to be cautious when you see something like that. So right now, I'm not seeing great activity on the pre-market right now. It's a little bit choppy. So for that, we're just going to skip on it on here. And again, guys, whatever we skip on, that could be still a good possible. If it has news, you can put it on your secondary list. And we also have our scanners, so you can take advantage of our scanners as well. All right, let's do 2 more, guys, then we'll get over to announcements. AKER this morning. I think we looked at that one yesterday. Guys, this is something you probably don't want to be involved with. Look at this pre-market action. It really is all over the place. You're not getting anything clean happening here. You have 233,000 shares traded.
Share float.
Yeah, how much is this one?
2 million.
2 million.
2.5.
Yeah. So on top of that, horrible pre-market activity, horrible price. Volume, and it's a 2 million shares flow. So again, just not. You don't got nothing good going on there at the moment. All right, guys, let's get over to announcements, and then we'll come back and do some levels. And if we have a little time towards the end, we can look at a few more from you guys. I see a lot of you guys are showing us a lot on there, but let's get over to announcements at the moment.
So I want to, real quick, while you pull that up, I wanted to answer a question somebody's asking on YouTube about LK being halted and thought stocks don't halt pre-market. Stocks can halt pre or post-market on news. They can halt on T12, which is when the exchange asks them for some kind of information, like there might be some kind of problem. So there's no volatility halt. During the market, if something moves 10% in 5 minutes, it's then put on a volatility halt for 5 minutes, reopens. And you can have multiple volatility halts. I've seen 12, 13, 14 in a day on some really active stuff that moves fast. The news halt is different. They can do that anytime. So that's what happened on LK. And as I mentioned earlier, it could really it could open next month. It may be delisted. You have no idea. So once again, that's why I have a rule about not trading things that have already been in a halt, because there's a very good chance it'll happen again. And I also don't trade things. Generally, I don't trade Chinese stocks, and I sure as heck don't own them long term in anything. So anyway, to answer that question. All right. Let's get to announcements. So guys, as we've mentioned, and we usually don't put up this daily stuff every single day, but this is a new feature. Everybody's home. We're trying to give a little bit back to the trading community. The last half hour of our chat room is being streamed live on YouTube Monday through Friday. No Friday this week, but 3:30 to 4:15, they'll talk about announcements and such. Peter, Brian, and Mike with trade reviews, market analysis, swing trading ideas at the end of the day, and possible after-hours earnings trades. So Peter tonight has his success webinar, 8 p.m. in the Lifetime webinar room. He'll be talking about his lightning bolt pattern strategy. And then next week, we've got Brian Shannon talking about anchored VWAP. Thank you, buddy. Tonight, we've got our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Jonathan Katz, talking about how to get over the fear of taking trades. That'll be in the webinar room as well. I apologize for the news, I apologize for the noise behind me. And then last slide, Carlos. It's not swapping on my screen, so I apologize. I'm having some issues this morning. If you're watching us on YouTube, haven't tried out the room, you can do so at a discount. Use the promo code premarket24 when you sign up for an intro membership. That'll give you 1 week access to the classroom or the chat room, and you'll get to take part in our onboarding class that's each Monday night. Doesn't auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership or anything like that.
All right, excellent. Thank you, man. All right, folks, so let's get to it. Let's look at this list. Let's quickly go through it, and I'm going to quickly remove some that I already know I'm not going to like this morning, as we have better stuff on here. So let's start over with GSX. I'm going to remove that one, guys. Again, just we looked at some other really good ones down here. Zoom, BA, Tesla, MGM. Those are some really nice ones we want to really focus on. So let's get rid of that one. I think we're going to get rid of Baidu as well. Although Baidu, I know this is, again, not one that we love to trade here, but it is doing a nice pre-market activity right now. So we'll keep a short eye on it. Again, NVAX here taking off nicely, guys. Look at that. It looks like it might want to hit that 1773. So we'll keep an eye on that one. American Airlines and Delta, the best one out of these two airlines, I think is going to be American Airlines. American Airlines has the best volume, but Delta, again, they're both very, very similar. We're having a hard time picking one of them. Let's go with American Airlines. Let's go with the most volume right now. We can always go back and look at Delta, see if that looks better, but American Airlines has the best volume. They're both pre-market activity look very, very similar, so no need to have both of them on here. NCLH, this got good volume as well. Let's look at CCL. Oh, CCL is definitely the one. Let's get rid of NCLH. And the reason I'm keeping CCL, look at the breakout already right here. Look at the beautiful, lovely pre-market action we're getting here. And it's lovely, guys, because we're building a beautiful uptrend, right? We're creating some levels on the way up here, stalling at 1192 here, broke out of it now. So you're getting some good volume on there as well. So CCL, beautiful pre-market action, almost 3 million shares. RCL does not look too bad neither. We got a nice little pop here as well. Looks like it might want to head higher, but CCL is definitely the one that you want to keep an eye on. It looks like it's going to be very explosive this morning. I have MGM on my list today. Had a big day over the last couple of days. So again, we'll keep an eye on that. Tesla is good as well. Great pre-market activity, holding nicely here. Actually, this one opened up yesterday. It did not sell off like a lot of other stocks did. Just notice this, right? Let's go to MGM. Look at the opens up here, sells down. CCL opens up, sells down. Tesla opened up, sold up, and just sold down right to where it opened. So that's interesting on that daily here. We didn't give much back. We're not trying to climb out of a hole here like a lot of stocks are. This one is gapping up this morning, but has more potential to possibly get going. So that's interesting the way that daily is looking at. Not saying that this is going to break out over any other stocks, but it's just interesting that we did not give back a lot yesterday, or if anything at all. We basically closed flat when we gapped up on Tesla. So we'll keep an eye on. Zoom, guys, very active this morning. Beautiful pre-market. Actually got an ABCD pattern going off of here, off of this previous day close. BA also is nice again. Pins. I'm on the fence on pins. ETH here, very active. AMD also looking good. So let's get rid of, I'm going to get rid of MGM, I believe, because we can't just do all these. This is way too many. So pins, let's get rid of pins. We'll get rid of that one. BA is beautiful. ZM is nice. Tesla is great. MGM, I'm on the fence. Let's get rid of MGM at the moment. I think we have some really, really good ones happening today. NVAX taking off here, and I'm going to get rid of Baidu just because I think we have some better ones. Okay, I think we have a good list now, guys. More fine-tuned. Let's start with NVAX. So NVAX, we have some levels already here from the previous pop that we had. This one at the moment is up 15%. Very active in the pre-market, guys. Again, this is a stock you want to be very careful with the number of shares you take. It can move quite a bit. So at the moment, your high of your pre-market stalling at 1740. Right now, so we can mark that down. We have a level over at 1773. Let's see if we're going to get that here in the pre-market, or we're going to kind of chop around a little bit before we can try to go for that level. Towards the bottom, the highs and lows got you covered. We also have this 1603. Look, this was a level that we had from the open, from the close of this date here, which happens to be also the high now of yesterday's day, right? So if we delete that 1604, you can see your pre-market, your high from yesterday is going to be on there on that level. So it's got you covered all the way down to this low of yesterday. Plenty of levels of support in here. I thought we did mark down the, yeah, we did. I deleted by mistake. Sorry. 1740 is the high of the pre-market right now. Let's see if we can go back and retest that. All right, let's go down to American Airlines. Again, great pre-market activity right now. On the daily, your high of the day is at, your high of the pre-market, excuse me, is at 1109. So we'll mark that down. Above that, guys, you have the high from yesterday. Nice big pop all the way up to 1215-ish, looks like. Towards the bottom, we do have previous day close, the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right on here, creating some really good support. Also, this $10 mark is also an area where we had support a couple of days ago, right? So that's a very good, strong support right now for American Airlines. We did dip our toe below that a couple of days ago, right? Heading down to $9, but we quickly bounced back and we're kind of holding this $10 one more time. It is also the low of the pre-market today. So great level here towards that 1215 level we saw. But this is a big pop, guys. If we can get above this pre-market high, I'm going to want something in the middle here. I do have several days opening, closing, and also bouncing off this 1152. So I'm going to mark that down. You have it happening here. You have this day closing here. You have this day gapping up to this 1152 and selling down. So I think that's a good level to have as a possible if we are going to head north today in a very strong fashion. So that's American Airlines, guys. Great pre-market activity right now. Let's head over to CCL. CCL breaking out this 1192 level we had. I'm going to remove some of these. I think some of these in here we're not going to need. So I'm going to remove this level, make it a little bit cleaner. There it is. So now our high of the pre-market is sitting at 1211. So let's mark that down. Above that, guys, we have a very nice level here, the high of yesterday, and above that, if we can get going, 1454 is a good one as well. This is a major level here. You got several days testing this. A minor level could be this one here, 1383. You have 1 day bouncing off of that with a nice rejection there if we can get going. Because again, from the price action now, after we break through this level, if we do that, to get to 1454, it's a stretch. We're going to have something in between there as a possible level. Towards the bottom, we got very, very strong support levels down here towards the pre-market low, sitting at 1083. So you can see here, you have 2 levels on. You have the previous day close, the highs from 2 days ago. So plenty of support on here around that $11 mark. So I don't think you need to add any more, guys. This thing is looking very strong this morning. Great, beautiful pre-market activity. This thing actually went red this morning. Red and came back here green, and now we're up 6.3. So it kind of shows you the movement CCL has in it today. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. Tesla, guys, again, as I mentioned yesterday, this daily is very interesting. We did not sell off that much of that gap up yesterday, so we held it. That could be some significant news there. Obviously, Norm went through the positive news they have. So that's costing some of that, I'm sure. A great level here at 608.44. That's a stretch. I'm going to keep an eye on this 580. I'm going to mark this down because that seems to be an area where we have some kind of change in direction or support here going back a couple of weeks ago, actually, back in March. So 581.80, 580, that area could be a good support. That's a minor support, guys. You're not having a huge change in direction like you have on 608. 608, you have support. You have a rejection here as well. That's a major level. This 581 is a minor level. Here is Zoom, guys. Zoom this morning, a great pre-market activity, getting back to green after selling off nicely yesterday. Again, and we continue to hold this level. Even the pre-market, this 110 level, it seems to be very strong support for Zoom this morning. So we are in the green. However, your pre-market is very much close to the high of yesterday. So again, don't even need to mark that down, right on there, a couple of cents off, but basically right on there, the high of yesterday, right? Above that, you have a pre-market highs from the high from 2 days ago, sitting at 125. And in between there, you really have no significant levels on here, right? You see between 125 and 118 where the price action is at now, where the high of the pre-market is at now, there's really no significant levels on there. You do have a minor level you can put on here, which is 122.12. You can put that on there several days, bouncing off of that, opening and closing around that area, as you can see here the last couple of days. So that could be a good point to have of reference in case we head north here. Towards the bottom, guys, great support. I'm going to mark something below this support line because Zoom can move, guys. We were just there a few minutes ago, and now we're above that. It can easily come right back down to that. So I want to have some levels down here. We do have a great area right here at 101.47. Great support. We can see it here being tested several times that could be an area we want to get into. But also look out for 105. I think 105 can also be an amazing support area as well. Here's BA, beautiful pre-market activity, very strong this morning so far. It was red at one point very early on in the pre-market, has come up above that. We are up 3.8. As far as levels, we recover pretty much with the highs and lows from the last two trading days have created some really good levels. We have the previous day close in here as well, so I think you're covered there. Above that, guys, a very nice level all the way at 186.28. Not sure if we're going to go up there and test that today, but this is looking very nice right now in the pre-market. EHTH, very wild price action. I really do not like the way this thing is trading, to be honest. This drop here and now the consolidation and also the daily chart. It's just not a stock that trades very well and very clean. So again, it's exciting to see this thing down 50% in a matter of seconds. But this thing is trading like a low flow stock, and we tend to stay away from that. So with that said, guys, I'm going to get rid of it. I really do not want to watch this one at all. Here is AMD, guys. AMD's got a great pre-market activity. It's got some volume. We've seen more from it. It's only got 459. We've seen AMD, you know, around that $700 volume. 1,000 is what we like to see. High of the pre-market right now sitting at a 48.40. So we'll mark that down. Above that, the highs from yesterday. As a great level of resistance. You can see several days touching on that level there. Above that, we can break out, will be 51.23. AMD is going to be a good one, guys. If the market starts trending one way or the other and you don't want to trade the SPY, that ETF, because it's a little more expensive, you can trade at AMD, you can trade at MU, you can trade at Apple, NVIDIA. All these stocks are most likely going to follow what the SPY is doing if the SPY decides to trend. Right now, let's take a quick look at the SPY and see what's happening there. At the moment there is, it's trending up nicely right now, so it's up 1.2%, which is nice to see in this type of a economy and the way the market has been trending down, right? So this looks very, very good. It was red this morning early on, and now trying to push higher. Let's see if we can get to that 275 level we hit yesterday, and what's gonna happen here. But again, very strong this morning. Norm, anything that we have missed, anything we can add today?
No, I've called out all that I had with those earlier, so I'm liking this list. I'm liking a good chunk of these.
I like this list better than yesterday. And yesterday's list was good too. We had a lot of great stocks, CCL and some others traded very well. I am liking this list as well. So Tesla. Yep.
Did you look at EHTH by the way?
We did, and I was just talking about it now. I took it off because it just looks very wild for me, man. So I don't know.
It is, and the reason I brought it up, so they're getting hit by Muddy Waters, which is the research investment firm, whatever that called out LK in January for fraudulent accounting, and sure enough, so whatever they say is being watched very closely now.
Yeah.
But the one thing on this, it has a $14 ATR for a $97 stock currently. So that's enormous.
Yeah, it's again, you just do not want to be involved with this, guys. Again, it's easy. Do we even have shares for short IB? We do have shares for short, which makes it even more dangerous. I'm not gonna watch this and not get tempted. You don't want to be stuck in one of these stocks that gets, halted for a lengthy period of time. Hold up your capital. That's the worst that can happen. But aside from that, even if that was not the case, guys, if you look at this daily chart, it is just horrible. Look at the ups and downs. Look at the ATR without knowing that news, right? And let's say you still want to trade this. If you look at the technicals here, there's nothing great about it. So keep that in mind as well. Let's say you were looking at this chart, you did not have Norm next to you to give you this information. You didn't have a chance to look it up. You quickly look at this and you want to stay away from this. All right. So just keep in mind that things have to look right. There's so many stocks that we could trade, guys. Trade stuff that looks clean and good. You're not going to be, getting into a crappy situation. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. We will see you later today at 3:30 for today's close on Wall Street with Peter, Brian, and Mike. Look forward to seeing you guys there. We'll be in the chat talking to you guys then. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow again at 8:30 Eastern Time. It is a short week, so tomorrow is our Friday, basically. So look forward to ending the week with you guys. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, take care.
All right, take care, guys. Trade safe.